information about those things. Yes, ma'am.
You throw out a lot for adults, but I have a child.
Yes, ma'am.
And he was born addicted to that. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
This whatever she could get in her mouth or arms or on hip, he had it in the system. And at 2.5 months, he had been abused. So his whole right side had been broken.
Wow.
So, and for me, when I got him, and once he hit a year, he had an anger that a 1-year-old should never, at 62, I still don't think I could have managed, but there's no help out there for them when they're that young. And so with me as a black woman, with these blonde hair, blue eyes, I'm saying to them, for a year, no one answered this child's call. He was broke here, he had a collarbone, he had 2 broken ribs, he had 2 breaks in his arms, 2 breaks in his legs. Nobody gave him a Percocet, nobody gave him a Triminol. That anger went somewhere. Now at 6, he's turning out. And I'm still saying, help him, because what'll happen 9 years from now, I think it was last year, there was a 9-year-old in Texas. He killed his mom, father, and 2 sisters. Okay, he gave a cry to somebody. Somebody didn't pay no mind, but he didn't just up in the morning and decide, let me kill dad and mom and you 2 other girls right here. Let me check y'all out too. So I'm saying now, at 6, I've been singing the same song. Help him, because his cries went unanswered. That anger is somewhere in that little boy. Nobody is going to say he was abused when he goes up on murder charges if we don't give him help now. But they have literally told me there's nothing we can do for him at his age. We can try this, we can try that. They tried different kinds of medication. And the one medication I said, don't that make you kill him? He said it don't make you kill him unless you want to kill him in the first place. We're talking about a 6-year-old. We're talking about a 6-year-old. So for me, my frustration is this little boy, before he got here, was abused. And now at 6, he will become the abuser because I'm shouting on the mountaintop and I can't get him back.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Children's Hospital does work very closely with OSU as well. So I would, well, when somebody is this young, so I'm assuming he's in school right now, correct? There's a lot of different things, and I don't always just specifically advocate just for hospitalization or anything like that. So usually the process for anybody coming into the hospital with, because people come in with, like I said, depression, anxiety, it could be suicidal thoughts, it could be homicidal thoughts, it could be extreme aggression as well. As you said, he's very aggressive. Usually the process is somebody comes into the emergency department. In the emergency department, they're assessed by psychiatrists. The psychiatrists assess them, they make a decision as far as whether or not they would benefit from inpatient treatment. Inpatient treatment is different for everywhere you go. Usually at Ohio State, the average stay is about 3 to 5 days. During that time, the psychiatrist can look at them. They see how they are reacting to medication or not medication at all. And usually, if somebody is inpatient, though, they think that there's like more intervention that needs to be taking place. So usually they'll try to get some kind of medication on board. With somebody being a child, of course, that would have to be, in tandem with the parents or grandparents, guardians' decision as far as what would be best. But for somebody that young, I would recommend like a lot of other things specifically directed towards just youth as well, Big Brother programs, and things like that. That maybe more like social things that he can deal with as far as like how do you maintain anger, how do you control yourself on a day-to-day basis while you're dealing with other people. So somebody that can really run with it as well, because institutionalizing children can lead to other things as well. So, you get used to being at Pomegranate. You get used to being at St. Vincent. What makes you not comfortable being in prison, right? So, it's difficult, and I don't always just advise people to just throw your kid in the mental health hospital. Some people may need intervention, and short stints of intervention can be very beneficial. But we have to be careful with that as well. So, you know, kind of answer, not kind of answer. Talking to the school counselor as well, making sure that he's on a good behavioral health plan, making sure that the teachers that are in the school are actually going to be beneficial for him, because some teachers are very, you know, excited is not the word, driven, I should say, to make sure that every kid is getting what they need. Some kids, some teachers, they'll do, if your kid gets it, they get it. If they don't, they don't. If they're a disruption for the rest of the class, then they're just going to be out and they're not going to take place in what's going on. Other teachers that are very aware and that you work with closely, they see that, okay, well, that doesn't work for him. So, you know, we'll get these other kids started and then we'll maybe work one-on-one or get a teacher or school that has like an aide as well that could be able to work one-on-one with him as well. You know, if sitting down or, you know, attention is something that's difficult for him. So we really have to just tailor it individually to kids, the same with adults. So not every person that's depressed comes in, get the same medication, and they just ship them back out. Every person that comes into the hospital that has anxiety or is feeling homicidal, feeling suicidal, they don't always just have like one little cocktail for them and just be like, cool, you good, get on out of here. Everybody's different, their experiences are different. And they have what's called dual diagnosis. So somebody that is dealing with like drug or alcohol abuse as well as mental illness, they have programs that are tailored to them as well. So, you know, one could be before the other, but they do have those as well. So somebody that was born, you know, addicted to drugs and things like that, and if it has affected them in certain ways, they do have things specifically for them as well. Like I said, Children's Hospital, they're building a whole psychiatric place, you know, for children.
That's where he goes and he gets medicine.
Yeah, yeah. And like I said, you know, I'm not the biggest advocate just for, you know, get medication. You know, there's a lot of other resources, you know, like I said, like Big Brother programs, you know, other things that like specifically intervene with the youth and just how to manage and maintain.
How do they know that what you need? Do they experiment on you first, or how do they get what you need, what's wrong with you, and how they get fixed?
So with medication, like I said, it's different for everybody. So
Mental illness, period, like it's overcome it is, but how do a doctor or somebody get you fixed, like get you to overcome it? How do they do that?
absolutely. So the interviewing process that they do for people, when I say like they do an assessment initially, that assessment is telling a lot. And like I said, there's a lot of different pieces to the story that they have when they first assess somebody. So the first thing, they'll ask you a million different questions, and they'll look at the different factors that affect you. They'll look to see if you've been incarcerated. They'll look to see if you have family support. They'll look to see if you have financial needs. They'll look to see, you know, if you have a drug or alcohol abuse problem. Then they want to see, you know, who can corroborate your story. You know, they're looking for family members, friends, people that are close to you. Like, you know, is this different for this person, or is this regular? Some people just act different. Some people act, you know, what we call quote unquote weird.
When I'm asking is, once they figure out it's the reason doing it is because your family not supporting you, how do they get you to come over? Like, do they get your family to come out and support you? I don't understand.
They tell you to write it down in a notebook, and they will give you some medicine. That's how they think. Now, I'm so sorry. For your experience with that little boy, he's 6 years old, right? Get a punching bag. Get him some punching gloves. Let him take that anger out on that punching bag. He have a lot of frustration. It's going to be there for a minute. For a while. It's going to be there. But get that punching bag and let them punch it out. It always helps. It helps wonderful. Instead of that medicine they keep popping into people, guarantee I'm on medicine. And I don't like to take it. I hate it. I hate the way it makes me feel. I do. But I have a 6-year-old boy too. He have anger issues, but not real bad. But with me, I got him started punching the bag when he was like 2 years old. Because that's something that will actually help them with that anger and help them boost up that self-esteem a little bit. If you talk to your kid, your child, you won't have nothing to worry about. Talk to them. Get that punching bag and them punching gloves. Let them take it out. You can actually hang it up. I got one that's big, that handles, like 4 handles on the thing. Hang it up, let them punch it. It's not going to be just him punching it either. Because it's going to be all them kids that you got that's going through something that needs to take that frustration out. If they don't take it out, they're going to take it out in the streets and do something. And now you know when you keep it inside, you know when that one person just takes you to that sense, it's going on. And there's no stopping them. I know. I've been through it. I'm going through it with my frustrations. You think my son just the only person to punch that bag? No. I punch it. I punch it. I let my frustrations out. It don't matter. I could be waking, I could just stay up for a whole week like I've been doing. My frustration, instead of me popping on medicines, I said, forget this, I'm going to do my meditation. And while I'm doing my meditation, I'm punching them back. It makes it so much better.
I think that sports is definitely a great, way to get out frustration, things like that. Football, I played football, loved it. It's a way to get aggression out in a way that's socially acceptable. So certainly sports can be a
I thought about the football, my nerves is bad. So the football lasted all of the week.
Yeah.
Because brother came home and football kicked his sister.
Yeah.
I was like, football over.
Yeah.
basketball, soccer, they're all
I'm looking, I know he has to have something to sleep. Because without something to sleep, he's up 4 or 5 days at a time. But we didn't do the football. I didn't think about basketball, but he did football.
Does he take anything for sleep?
Yes, he takes melatonin and clonidine.
Yes, that's something I want.
He will be up, when I tell you, one of us got to sleep. So the only way for me to sleep is for him to sleep.
Now,
He's
you've
up 4
been
or
here
5
for a
times.
while, so you know about the meditations. Now, they have kids' meditations too. Look it up, put it on. Guarantee, after he get all that frustration out, and then listening to it, that's all he have to do is lay down and listen to it. You don't even have to lay down, you just sit up on a chair and listen to it. Guarantee, he will sleep good. He will have a good night's sleep. Just have him breathe. Because that frustration is going to be there. It's going to be there. But if you work it out with him, at the end, it will be a blessing, and you are a blessing to these kids. But it works so much better when you know all the tools. At least most of them tools. It's so wonderful, especially with these boys nowadays. Come on now, like these boys nowadays is off the hook. Just like these young little girls don't even look like girls, they look like grown women. They off the hook, so they need that frustration. With me, I have a tough little boy. I do. I have a tough boy. You need a punching bag. Because that punching bag will help out with the boys and the girls.
Yes, it will. Amen.
Specifically, for your question, medication is not the answer for everybody. So specifically, I know at OSU they have what's called IOP program. It's an intensive outpatient program. So people can kind of come in a few different times a week, and they have different sessions. They can have individual or group sessions that people have where they work through some of those issues. So, we can't necessarily make family members come and be supportive, but they teach you how to cope without it as well as giving you different tools as far as like relaxing, calming down, kind of like how you're breaking down as well. So that you don't have to necessarily be on medication. Medication is not appropriate for everybody, just period. So, some people do well with it, other people do not do well with it. Some people want to try medications and say, I think that I think that I do want to try medications, and the doctor says, hey, well, we have these different options. So there's a few different things that you can take for sleep. Melatonin is one of them, and it's like a more natural one. People take Benadryl and, a whole host of other things as well. Yes, indeed, to get sleep. So, there's a lot of different things that people can use for a lot of different, situations. So a doctor's job is, okay, well, let me see what works for you. So Benadryl works different on you than it does for him.
Right.
For instance, same with melatonin.
Right.
Somebody like me, melatonin knocked me out for 3 days.
3 days.
Other people, like, it doesn't touch them at all. It doesn't touch them at all. So, it's different strokes for different folks as it pertains to that. But the biggest thing is to, like we said, get educated. We have to do our research. And we have to, be in the know. Like I said, not a lot of people knew about like the the health affairs that are going on here. So that's something that we got to investigate. That's something that we got to, invest some time in. And each one teach one. We got to tell other people about that as well. We can't also let our fear of the doctor's office keep us from getting help at all. So a lot of things that we don't know because we haven't talked to the doctor and got a consultation about it. Yes, sir.
I just feel like as far as the doctor's office, like mental health, when it comes to mental health,
Absolutely.
most of the time when you walk in there, they just instantly judge you and take it to wherever they want to take it to. It really don't. I mean, for me personally, with my experience, it was more like it really didn't help. It really made things worse. You feel me? Like I was diagnosed with depression and bipolar. You know what I'm saying? But the medicine that they had me taking, I wasn't taking it for years. You feel me? And I think I was just diagnosed with the depression part, the bipolar depression part, because of what I was going through as far as my circumstances when I was young. So when they when they actually evaluated me and diagnosed me and they hit me with the medicine, I wasn't taking the medicine. You feel me? All my life, I never took the medicine, but was diagnosed that. So then one day I decided, fuck it then, let me go ahead and try the medicine. I mean, forget it, my fault. Let me try the medicine. So I started taking the medicine every day, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, dang, I felt too happy though, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, this got me too. So I left it alone, but then after I left it alone, all of a sudden now I got anxiety. But I never had anxiety. I've never been the type to be like, you know what I'm saying? Like clutching everywhere. I've never been that type. But for some reason, ever since that medicine, it's been like that. So it's kind of hard for me to trust anything that got to do with the mental health. You know what I'm saying? Especially when there's natural remedies out there. You know what I'm saying? Most of the medicines is made out of natural stuff. Like, I don't know what to say. Right. Most of the medicine is made out of natural elements that come from the earth anyway. So instead of them actually stepping on it and pressing it together and selling it to us for the money, why won't you just tell us what's in it so we can go to the stores? Why is it not open to the public? Like, oh, you go to your produce section, get you some Rutabaga, you know what I'm saying? And go ahead and take that, you know what I'm saying?
It's right there in front of our faces. If you go to the grocery store, going down there and spice out, everything that's it's all right there.
But not the stuff that they sell.
Exactly, all the stuff that I sell.
So that's one of the reasons why I had the position in the hospital that I had is being a client rights specialist. So it would be my job to do all the uphill battling for you in the hospital. So somebody comes in there and says, I get a call all the time, hey Marquand, they want me to take these medications, I don't want to take these medications. What are my options? So first of all, anybody that goes into the hospital, you have a right to refuse care. So you have a right to forward your care to whoever you want to, unless there's been a judge that says that you're not competent enough to be able to make medical decisions on your own behalf. So when you go into the hospital and they say, yeah, we just want to give you this, we want to give you this, as long as you're not in there tearing up the hospital, that's the only way they can overrule your decisions. If you're in there, if you're a harm to yourself or others, and you're exhibiting that behavior currently, that's the only way that they can just be giving you medications. Otherwise, you can say, I don't want to take that, don't want to take that, don't want to take that, don't want to take that. And if that's all the list, then you don't have to take anything. But yes,
That's a wrap.
so once if they say that you need to be inpatient in the hospital, their first thing is always to do pharmacology. So pharmacology is medications, and they're wanting to do that as well. But you can work with the doctor, you can work with the patient rights advocate, and I've helped plenty of people get out of the hospital with zero medication. Their family members, you get family members to say, yeah, this is their baseline, because like I said, the doctors don't know you. You're coming from nowhere, and they see you 25 years down the line, 30, 40 years down the line, and they don't know what your life has been. Yes?
That's the thing I have with OSU. It's experiment hospital. My mom worked there for years. So the first thing when you walk in there, they're gonna experiment on you
When you
first.
say experiment, what do you mean?
They're gonna try different medicines on you. They're gonna try this. They're not gonna really listen to what you have to say. They're gonna they know because they are the doctors. They're gonna diagnose you. They're gonna give you the medicine. We worked on with OSU like forever. They are the experimenting hospital. That's why I asked that question, especially coming from OSU.
Yes, ma'am. We're going to address that. Yes.
Well, beyond that, they always ask for your sign for anything they want to try when they do. And for two, any medication, you could always say, like, I don't want to take that. Is there any other options? Can I see a counselor? Can we write in a book? Can we do this? Can I work out? So it's not really like they're forcing you. You know, you might not feel like you want to speak your mind in there because they're a doctor. Oh, they smarter than me. But that doesn't mean that they can tell you what to do. At the end of the day, you can speak for yourself and say, I don't want to take that. What can I do to get out of here?
Absolutely.
Well, speaking from a personal point of view too, also, I think sometimes it's your mindset.
Yep.
Don't look at it as a negative thing because I'm going to speak on myself. I come from a generation when the Bible says to the third and fourth generation, I have that many generations of mental illness that for me personally, I didn't even realize because, you know, back in the day, we don't talk about that. Like you said, the stigma. We don't talk about it, we don't address it. So they figured out as young as me being 8 years old is when my mental illness problems happened, and that led me into drug addiction and all kind of other stuff because I didn't know. And this whole time I'm thinking something's wrong with me, something's wrong with me. Like, why am I not like everybody else? Why am I not thinking like, and only to go in there and find out like, oh, well, you know, you're dealing with this, and this, and we can, you know, from the evaluation, figure out it probably started back when you were 8 years old, but nobody knew because you weren't talking, they weren't, you know, recognizing, they weren't addressing. I walk around every day acting like I'm normal, like I'm fine. I was happy when they started diagnosing me like, oh, okay, now we can fix it. What can we do? What can we do to maintain this? What can we do to handle this? You know, and I kept this is my daughter, I kept my kids educated. I took them down my journey. So you know how to, you know, address stuff and diagnose stuff. They deal with anxiety. I deal with a lot of things in my family. I didn't even realize that was anxiety until they started telling me like, no, that's anxiety. I'm like, oh, I just thought that was our family. That was just normal. Right. You know, like, you know, but I think it's your mindset too, because too, they have to try different medications. I had a point in time, I was on medication on the strongest, highest dose they could give me. They like, we can't give you no more. And it still almost seemed like, oh, it's not working, it's not working. I got to a point in time, I went cold turkey against their advice and got off of it when I got pregnant with my youngest because I'm like, okay, he's predisposed. I want to give him every chance he can get, so I'm going to go off of this. I was off for like 7, 8 years. And then speaking on what you said, never had anxiety attacks or nothing. I get off of that, I'm off 7, 8 years, and then just a couple years ago, all of a sudden, I'm having anxiety attacks. Like, what the heck is going on? Things change, you know, your situations change, you get older, different things come into effect, like you said. So, you know, things might change. You know, maybe you might need the medication then, maybe you don't. You know, and it's the person too. You know, my son struggles with a lot of things. He doesn't want to take the meds. The doctors can give you the resources, they can give you recommendations, but it's also kind of like an addict. They have to want to be better. They have to want to put the work in. You got to work it every day if you want it to work. It's a constant struggle, a constant fight. Right now,